Okay, so this is quite long range map, so might be might be a lot of characters where, well, you might face a lot of long range characters, and in general this map is a little bit linear in a way. There's not too much space to go left or right on the flanks, so yeah, let's see. There might be some problems with just how do you take those off angles, maybe where do you go so you bait an enemy to go towards you, but yeah. Okay,
Oh yeah, I was okay at the beginning. I think okay, I'm here.
that's fine. Yeah, anything what's been difficult in this game? Yeah, maybe anything
Oh
what stands
no,
out?
I think. I mean, I don't remember them anymore. I played so many games since. I just remember I made a little comment, saved the code, and then moved on. So I think this one was mostly like dealing with the Sombra, and I think I did an okay job, but I'm pretty sure I could have done better.
Hmm, that makes sense. Okay, well, let's keep going. Yeah, let's see. It's starting off some of the attention on the front line. Sure, the Sombra gets your Juno, but then we get in res there. Okay, my question is, anything specific for you to look for because of this composition in terms of your target priority, maybe initially? Anything what
My
you will pay attention to more?
my Echo and Zarya.
Uh,
I can't really
mhm,
help the widow that much because the thing's like she wants to land headshots, so
mhm,
damage boosting her anyway. Like it's she that hits or she doesn't. And I don't have
mhm,
like any help I can give her. I
mhm,
can look out for Juno a little bit, but Zarya is gonna be like our main pressure. And then like before that, Ash would have been okay, but it depends on where she's standing.
mhm, mhm, mhm.
But like I'm definitely my main. As you can see, I like looking at Zarya here, not even just because she's a tank, but because her damage potential is also like so big.
Okay, well, ultimately, if you look at this right now, who do you think is better to support? What is and
Oh,
what
Ash. Yeah, Ash.
probably?
I didn't realize they had a Sombra at the beginning, so I didn't look back fast enough.
W-
By the time I looked, Juno
mhm.
was already dead, and it was my bad.
That's okay. I think that's another part. Yeah, but the first part is just understanding who can do more pressure exactly and trying to support that. Yeah, let's say even though this so I forgot Sombra. Yeah, forgot the name of the character. The Sombra is not there. Then you still will pay attention to this or this. So I'm thinking in terms of just supporting your active angles. Yeah, maybe we can add some triggers. You can keep an eye on. I think one big trigger is just looking at who can be active with their damage. Just who can do a lot of burst. Okay, so anyone who can do big burst, you want to support that first. Because if we see the Zarya, they're not even able to do any primary fire, right? Or they even right click is not gonna do much. But you basically want to, as a support, ultimately to increase damage output of your team as well, and yeah, just help them out. This is something you can pay attention to as well. This is like another layer you can look at who's receiving a lot of pressure. You can also keep that in mind. But yeah, I think the first layer is even more important. Just what your attention is on, and maybe some anticipation before could be helpful. So your attention would be on Ash right away, yeah, or Widowmaker, because this controls this part of the map better. Yeah, we can just push all those guys away. Hmm.
Like, Sombra's behind me. I'm trying to like, chase her around a
Yeah,
little bit.
yeah, that's fine. Yeah, just trying to escape there, really. Okay. I'm thinking with this, it's okay to just try to use some verticality when escaping. It's just the small thing here. Probably still wanna stay in the Juno's range, but I think movement-wise, yeah, the direction is to just try to bait their attention, yeah, and bait them to chase you is alright. Just make sure you live a little bit longer by keeping the sidelines on the second support, but it's alright. Okay, next fight. And your widow is dead, okay. Might rest them, yeah. Okay. So going towards that angle, and then going towards another. Okay. Now, you went to Widow, and then you went back to Zarya here, it seems. Why is that the case? Why not to stay in here?
Because I already lost HP and I wanted to top her off.
Why do you need to top off the Zarya here?
I don't know, because I think that, like, maybe it's old mindset, but I just try to keep people top when I can.
Okay. Let's see here. This...
Also, this is like maybe another thing, but like I
Okay.
just don't trust widows in this elo. I'll be honest.
I mean, sure. Well, it's okay, I think. It's just for me, what is important is it's not that you enable them hitting shots. They might not hit anything actually, yeah. But what do you do? Well, the first part is because they see something, like the enemies, they see something. The beam was on Widow here. Then they might be scared. Yeah, okay, to put it simple, if I'm looking at it right now, who is receiving more pressure on your team potentially? Who might receive more pressure?
Widow.
Okay, and
Because
what's...
the Sombra is flanking her.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Because there's a Sombra flanking, there's a lot of potential. So there's another trigger you can look at is anyone who is... I would just pay attention to positional triggers. Yeah, you want to look at anyone who is maybe taking more offensive angles, like this here. This is an off angle A, while your team is staying at B. Usually, off angles, they receive more pressure. Anybody, anybody, they want to punish those angles more. So I'm thinking positional. I'm just gonna write it down as well. Yeah, positional, keeping an eye on people taking off angles, and also who is more in front line. That is another one. Okay, what it does is, because your attention is in this Widow, maybe the Sombra will be scared to push her, and they will push back. Because they push back, your team can push forward later. Well, maybe your team, your Widow will not die as well. Okay, so we just looking at this. Okay, and the Zarya as well, they're not receiving as much pressure anyway, so you don't have to. You don't have to put your priority. You want to always your priority be on anyone who is active. It's either with their own damage or they're getting pressured. Okay, that what active means. Yeah, to put it simple. Basically, it's also okay to let them lose. A lot of times, let them lose their HP as well. You think about it this way: someone like Zarya, they lose a little bit of shields, they can regenerate those, while something like Widowmaker, they can't do much, or something like Echo, they cannot regenerate their HP with shields. They still have the passive, of course. There's a passive in the game, but in the fight, most likely, it's gonna be tough for them to regenerate their HP. Okay. Yeah, does all of it make sense so far, or any questions?
Yeah, it makes sense. If I have questions, I'll ask.
Yeah, okay.
Duck in the fucking door well.
Okay. So see, this makes a lot of sense. And your attention, because this Zarya is not just critical, but they're in the most active. They're in the frontline position, that's one. They can also do quite a lot of bursts currently, so your attention can be on them. They're critical, additionally, so you can start healing them. This is something you can keep an eye on as well. Maybe the Echo, they're starting to be active. You can also put the beam, or it just, I think, initially damage boost is fine, and then later can start supporting them if they lose some HP. But yeah, just see, it's all dynamic. And in here, by the way, your beam should be on.
Oh, preferably Echo.
Yeah, because they potentially might be active, because they can...
I would.
Yeah.
I think here I was waiting for the Echo to actually jump into the air, because she's like behind me right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm this Echo, okay, let's think about it from perspective of the Echo. Would I likely to be jumping, like go up vertically, if I have my beam on me, or not? think about it this way.
Okay, yeah.
So see, you want to kind of, because you know who can potentially be active in this moment. Yeah, you can try to already put the beam on them, basically, and tell them, you can do more. You can just go in and do something. Okay, I think this is how I would put it. Yeah, be more proactive, and this is where this awareness it's really important. Keeping an eye on. Maybe my Widowmaker is going for grapple shot. They might do that. I want to damage boost that here. Maybe your Echo can also fly up. You can pay attention to that as well. Maybe Juno as well. Just active angles. Okay.
Yeah, I realized that rest would be too risky.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Well, let's see the next fight here. Got the ultimate. Let's see what do we do with that. Yeah, I think that's alright. Enabling your team to take space, support on the Zarya, she is the most active, but then see you want to be going on who currently is more important for you to switch to.
Tracer preemptively, so
yeah.
she doesn't get chunked.
Yeah, Tracer, and maybe also with that beam, tell them you can go deeper. You can actually go deeper and maybe go over here, which is fine. You're pretty mobile. You can fly back. Yeah, eventually you switch to Tracer later, but okay. This one is interesting. Well, you guys about to fight the choke, and seems like Ozari is looking for the grab as well. Well, you're really close to the grab. I'm thinking currently it's okay if you know somebody, they have their ultimate, you can definitely put more attention towards them, try to enable them as well. In this case, it's either Zarya or Echo, and it's just helping them out, like telling them, okay, you can go for the play, you can do something. So that attention overall was pretty good. Okay.
I didn't want to follow the Tracer there. It felt a bit too dangerous.
What do you think from, if you look at it now, is that possible potentially to follow on that target there?
Oh, to that corner, yes, but then she dashed in, and I was like, yeah, I'm not going there. Like, I'm going closer to like heal her there, and then she dashes in, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not following. Because a Tracer can get out of a bad situation. If I go in and I'm stuck there, I just die instantly.
Yeah, I would say you definitely don't want to be stuck in unfavorable spot, like maybe in here. Yeah, you want to be careful. But if you put it this way, thinking about it like who might be active on the map and try to position between those angles while being safe. Okay, so I'm thinking maybe I'm not necessarily have to follow this tracer really deep, but because you have a position which enables this active angle a little bit longer, like maybe if I'm here or I'm here, I'm still able to enable this tracer without putting myself at risk, and the other members, they're able to support you as well. And you maybe can also keep attention on that active angle, like the Zarya here. So I'm thinking you want to look at the map overall and try to position between active angles, if that makes sense. This is an important idea. I think for something like Mercy and Life Fever, a lot of times is just because you have so, first of all, it's so much mobility, and second, you want to be able to just maintain all this all of the HP, and maybe also force some attention towards you. I think you need to find this position where you're more comfortable between the angles. It's okay. I think this map, yeah, what do you think if you stay over here? Actually, that is that possible? Maybe.
Yeah, that would have been possible.
Yeah, and see, potentially I'm supporting this without going in too deep, yeah, because if you go too deep, then you're not between active angles as well. Yeah, you don't have anyone to fly towards if they are all back here. So I'm just going over here. This is enough. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna write down with your position. You need to go and position between active angles. Okay. And being active, it's exactly based on what we mentioned before. It's either your team's position, or it's just also you can watch them do a lot of burst if they're able to do a lot of damage, this sort of stuff. It's kind of similar, but yeah. Just by burst, sometimes you can maybe keep an eye on some abilities too and try to make sure you support that a little bit more. Maybe Echo goes for the beam, maybe Echo goes for the bombs, and you can support that. Maybe it's something else too, like Tracer Clip. Yeah, so watching this here, what your attention should be on currently?
Tracer and Echo.
Yeah, Tracer or Echo? What do you think has the priority here?
I would say Echo. She's line of sight.
Yeah, yeah. And they have more, I think, longer range potential. I think with Tracer you can comfortably shoot Lucio, so it's sort of fine, but with Echo they also have an ultimate, so I'm thinking this fight breaks in, just keep the beam on them maybe. You can also enable their ultimate, they think, okay, I can go deeper, and this can win you the fight as well. So yeah, that definitely just keeping an eye on this big burst abilities and ultimates. Supporting a Zarya can be okay, but it's just you have more active angles here. That more danger towards your Tracer or Echo. So yeah, want to keep attention on them. Can live through the Sombra. Yeah, so see now. This is much better. Your attention is on the Echo. You can poke these guys a little bit more. I'm also thinking if you want to have a position potentially be able to fly between active angles, how you would go about that, where you want to go.
At the balcony on the right.
Yeah, just potentially, because see how far Deep Tracer is, right? You cannot exactly go towards her. I would not stay with her because I also want to just support those guys, but because I'm on the balcony, if she backs off here, I'm able to support that as well. I'm positioning between the active angles in here. Yeah, okay. And this is the part of the baiting too. If I go here, Winston jumps me, and then I jump back, and then he has to follow, and then you fly back in, maybe. Stuff like that. I was sort of staying at this same main lane, and it might be easier for these guys to chase you.
So.
And that ward forced an ultimate there too, but yeah, overall it worked. It seems you guys made good push there. Okay. What about defense? Do you want to watch a little bit of defense, by the way, and try to
Sure.
play
Yeah.
game later? Try to apply some of the stuff what we talked about, or you wanna watch more of your games?
What do you think would be more useful?
I think usually after we've done some just around 30 minutes and we had a session with you before, I think it's fine if we also do a game later. Yeah, I think it usually works better usually. Of course, if you feel like you warmed up and everything, I think that makes total sense.
Yeah, I was playing right before session, so I'm warmed up.
Nice. Okay. Looking at this comp, who your attention would be on most likely? What's your thoughts?
Symmetra and Zenyatta.
Symmetra and Zenyatta, why those guys?
Symmetra's damage potential is really good, and Zenyatta's damage potential from far away is good, and also he's very vulnerable. So he is probably the number one dive target.
I would say definitely this can be a good target, especially when looking to enable his right clicks. Still keeping an eye on the other abilities, like if they use your Sigma uses the rock, maybe your Tracer goes for the clip, or the Symmetra, they also looking for some close range pressure. Yeah, you can start enabling that a little bit more. Let's see.
I also just like, that's just my personal advice, but I like enabling any like character with easy to land damage. That's why I'm like sitting on Zarya a lot and like Symmetra, because even like people who are not that good at the game can land those abilities easier than let's say a Hanzo can land their shots. So it's like, for me, it's like more likely that they will make use of the beam. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so let's put it this way. it's kind of similar to what we had in that example there. Yeah, it's like I don't trust widows, right? But is that really you controlling the map? Is it a lot about just hitting the shots? Yeah, is it a lot about that exactly? Yeah, this is the question. And I think a lot of times when you're trying to support somebody, it's because your tension is in the right place. It's just because they look scary because you have the beam on some target who might be dangerous. You know, everybody knows, well, if the widow hits the shot, it's pretty dangerous. Or maybe if there's Hanzo, they hit the shot, that also might be dangerous. But it's based on multiple triggers. So I just want you to I'm thinking generally speaking, yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, some degree, the characters, especially beam characters, it's easier for them to do stuff. But I also want you to look at other triggers and combine those together and see what works better, what your attention should be on. So what we had so far is trigger number one, anyone who can do big burst damage. It's based on primary fire and their cooldowns, what they're using. Another trigger is position, and well, another thing can be, and this one he mentioned, it's just what is easier to get a value with. Yeah, maybe it's even name wise, but definitely not the biggest one, let's put it this way. Yeah, there are also other figures we gotta keep an eye on, if that makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
is it yeah, it's clear enough the way I explained, or any questions?
Yeah, like if I have any questions, I'll ask myself. Don't worry.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just trying to absorb the information.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so initially we're on the Sig, which can be okay, but the range, yeah, the Sigma at the start, I think they can do like a lot, so most likely your attention should be on Zenyatta, like you mentioned right away. You just identifying based on the range, yeah, simply you can do more, bigger burst, I think. Definitely keep an eye on
Yeah,
this.
I think my logic was that I wanted the high ground, but I'm not sure.
Makes sense, okay. Wanna be on the high ground, okay. And also, I'm thinking because you can implement it in a way like I mentioned, yeah, being between active angles and supporting somebody. I think you have to find a balance here. I think you want to have a high ground, but it's just what high ground gives you, what high ground should give you, it's two things, or like any position should give you. It's safety, first of all, and another thing is being able to support good targets, like any active targets. So I'm thinking maybe if I have this high ground, what allows me to do well, maybe my attention should be more towards this angle a little bit. Or maybe you don't even need the high ground and just try to support this, which I think makes sense. Your position can be pretty dynamic. I think you can switch your position and try to go towards this angle later. Stuff like that, yeah. I think it makes sense in the long term to try to be there, but just at the start, yeah, just
Because the second I see because I have line of sight of like Zenyatta and everybody, so the second I saw like people taking damage, I immediately went to help.
yeah, exactly, yeah. That is what I mean. Our main point is kind of first of all trying to enable your team dealing damage, because you never in this game and back in Overwatch 1 you never can out heal incoming damage. That's why you have to set up your own pressure around the damage. You have to out damage the enemy. That is what's the game is more about. That's why I put so much emphasis on who's doing damage currently, who is more active, and we have to just put attention on them. And later, of course, if somebody's critical, like the Symmetra is critical, or maybe your Sig is critical, I think you can start healing them. That's completely fine. But first of all, it's all about the damage. So I'm seeing here, yeah, do you have to even heal the Zenyatta currently? Or is it more
Oh,
important to damage boost currently? You see that?
my logic is if they're like below 60%, I heal them even if it's just a little bit, so they
Mm-hmm.
don't get like one tap from like a random headshot. Because
Mm-hmm.
if they're like full life, they can take like 80%. They can probably take like a non-widow headshot and still live.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're like below a certain threshold, like a stray Hanzo body shot can kill them.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
try to keep them at least like out of the most critical range.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Especially since they do have a Hanzo. I don't want
Yeah,
like my Zenyatta to
yeah.
like randomly die to a body shot.
I think that makes sense. You can. keep the HP pool. Yeah, if they have around 50% or 60%, I think that's good enough trigger for you to start healing. However, try to find those brief moments of times when they're also applying their own pressure. And this is what I want you to put on as a priority. You'd rather heal this up just half a second, not heal this up, damage boost this for half a second, and then later switch to heal boost again. And it's difficult, I think, exactly catch those moments, but this is a long-term goal. Basically, we're
Okay.
trying to, yeah, but we're trying to find those moments. Maybe meanwhile, it's still trying to heal the target and trying to also apply the damage. First of all, enable the damage, and this is going to be the first priority. Of course, there are small things such as also there's a shield in front of this guy, so maybe this guy can be damaged. I think also you can be, because they are larger HP pools, you can definitely let them take slightly more damage. It's around 50%, I think, is good enough, and then start healing them. But yeah, that logic makes sense. When they drop 50%, yeah, I think start healing, but also keep an eye on those big burst moments when those happens. Something like I'm watching this, for example, and okay, you have the second here, he is hacked, and you start healing this guy, but at the same time, who's doing more currently? Who needs more of your attention? What's your thoughts?
Symmetra. I
Yeah.
mean, but the reason, okay, I'm not justifying it. I'm just trying to explain my thought process. I saw the hack, so I expected damage to like jump on
Mm.
the Sigma. So I tried
Yeah.
to preemptively like already be ready to heal him.
Yeah. Yeah. I think okay. Yeah. This is fine. However, yeah, making sure, if I put it this way, you want to make sure there's actually attention towards somebody who, towards somebody. Let's put it this way. And I think the main trigger again is just the HP pool. The HP pool is when you start healing those guys a little bit more, and maybe just some attention on this. You maybe expect the pressure on the Sigma later. Fine, switch your beam towards him later and start healing. I will explain from another perspective as well. Imagine, because we talked about baiting a lot of times, yeah, and this guy, he's full HP currently. He has his full HP, shields, and everything. And now, if there's a hack, what the Sombra most likely is gonna do? Well, maybe, yeah, like you mentioned, she will try to damage this guy. But if our attention is not on the Sigma, if our attention is something else, the Sombra sees it like, okay, this seems like this guy's more free. It's like, maybe I will even kill him. Probably not, but you know what I mean. It's just maybe if there's another target as well, maybe something like Zenyatta. Maybe they throw the virus at Zenyatta, or maybe hack them, and they don't see the beam on Zenyatta. Same stuff. They will most likely go on the target. So what I mean by that is, you can use your teammates as a bait. If you know they're not about to die, especially like in this case, it's okay to let them take damage. Like, let them take damage and make the Sombra drop, or make somebody go after Sigma really hard. And then later, you switch your beam when it matters. You find those moments of when they actually start taking pressure. So this is pretty big, I think. Yeah, this perspective does make sense as well, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So it's a lot about target priority, but there are just so many nuances why your attention on the targets, why you can change the outcome of the fight. Okay.
I should be on the high ground now. Yeah, I was trying
Yeah.
to jump up there and I fucked up.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Being on the high ground, okay. And then now
Should
what do
be a
you
Symmetra, yeah.
yeah, I think Samara is good enough. Maybe Zenyatta as well, but at this at this position, I think Samara is comfortable. Just seems like you're trying to heal up everybody, and I definitely think you need to find those triggers when you don't have to basically do that. Yeah, just try to put more attention towards who's doing more pressure currently, or receiving a lot of pressure, and then damage who's first. and heal second. Yeah, like this makes sense. The Zenyatta is there receiving a lot of pressure. You see that pressure, but see, because it can be like a bait as well. Yeah, you don't have to maybe even, okay, they're getting hacked, but then you see the pressure coming, and you start healing them, start damage boosting them. But if there's nothing, if nothing's happening towards him, then you can do something else. You can just straight away go on somebody, see maybe it's Symmetra, yeah, like right there. It's good enough. But damage boost here first. You don't have to heal again. Yeah, just let them drop. Let the HP drop. 50%, that's good enough, yeah? Or 60%, I
Okay.
think. Yeah, like this healing makes total sense. If they're critical, you notice this marker, then you start healing. Okay, I'm thinking maybe we can do a game on this and just simply do I'm thinking let's keep an eye on active angles and try to damage boost angles more. So we damage boost angles first and heal them when they go in towards critical, just losing their 50% of HP, and I think should be good enough, to be honest. Do you want to try this out?
Sure. Yeah. Do I just queue up then?
Yeah,
It's
and
okay.
yeah, and you can screen share. Okay, here we go. So I'm also gonna write down we got so damage boost first and heal second when someone is critical. Okay. And who your beam is on is just all depends on those triggers which you mentioned, supporting active angles. Who is doing a lot of pressure, first of all. Yeah, who is active with their position, cooldowns of fire. Yeah, that is the first priority. Okay.
Okay. I'll try to keep it in mind. Also, like if I'm not like
That's it.
responding a lot, it's because I'm just listening and like trying to absorb the information. It's not like if I have a question, I'll ask.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
it's no problem. Yeah. Uh, Okay. Do you have any sort of warm up you usually do when you queuing up or just between games?
I'll be honest. Warm ups. I don't need warm ups. I'm always warmed up. I'm always ready to go.
That's
No,
okay.
like I usually do like warm ups if I play DPS, but like
Hmm.
on Mercy and stuff like that, I don't really need to.
Yeah, but
I
Mercy. Mhm.
my opinion is like the best warm up is to play a game.
Yeah, I think well with the characters like Mercy, because you don't have to warm up a lot of her mechanics. It's just maybe some of the movement there to make sure you get from one position to another, and you will not be stuck somewhere. But yeah, I think it's definitely less of priority. Still, maybe doing something.
Yeah.
I usually, yeah. By the way, what do you usually do for DPS players? Just whenever you play, whenever you play DPS characters, any sort of warm up you usually do for those?
Uh, I sometimes go into like a what's called practice range. What is it called? Yeah, practice range. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's the thing. Where I sometimes just shoot for like, but I don't do it for long. I do for like 30 seconds, maybe a minute. Uh, I don't know. I'm just somebody who just wants to play. If that makes sense. I just go in and rip it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like yeah. My DPS characters are like McCree, for the most part. I just like McCree, but yeah. Reaper doesn't really need a lot of warm up. It's usually just like I don't know. It's just like click on their head. With that, it's that simple. Just press like left click, right click, and that's it.
Yeah, just in
I
case.
have a,
Yep. Mhm.
I have just a weird attitude towards that. I guess like I understand that like warming up is important, but I also feel like I warm up the best if I play a game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you can try just test it out and see maybe the warm up. If you do that, it's gonna work slightly better. If not, you can keep the same way. Just try to play some comp games, see how those gonna be, and yeah. I usually recommend, there's a good warm-up. I'm gonna send the code to you and save it in the document as well. It's called Waxta. It's just a custom game where you can practice versus moving targets. Similar to practice range, but better.
Okay,
So just,
good to know.
yeah. Okay, let's do it this way. Your attention on active angles, and it's just based on how much pressure they do. You
I
can...
also really dislike this map because in this entire like week of me playing again, I played maybe like 4 games on here, so it's like still a little bit. I'm not confident on this map still
That's okay.
because I don't know all the angles. But
That's alright. That's alright. Try to look around and check all the
yeah.
what your team is gonna do. Yeah, I'm not sure what you guys your Torb is an adventure, and the rest of your the rest of your core is just so far
Dude,
back.
that Torbjorn is on a mission.
Okay, okay.
What the fuck?
You guys are so interesting. It seems like nobody knows where to go. It's just you have two
Oh,
people stuck in spawn still, but it's
oh
alright.
yeah, that guy's dead. Okay.
It's alright. It's alright. Really interesting. Well, attention on Rissa is good, definitely.
Yeah,
There's the only thing you can do is try to position yourself between that Bastion and Orisa, I think. Again, just potential active angles, but the fight is really... The first fight was really chaotic. I don't know. It's just... Usually, if you're fighting this point, the shortest rotation is to go towards the right side, all the way right side, and then you'll be fine.
can we group up like one time?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Active angle is probably gonna be Orisa, so attention should be on her. And then later, maybe Zenyatta. Once they come in. Okay. It's looking fine. See who does more pressure as well, or maybe... Receiving pressure. Pressure is your first priority, though. Yeah, like
My
Zenyatta...
Bastion, but like I can't get to
Bastion.
him. Oh,
Yeah, mm-hmm. Gotta survive. I don't think it's easy to res. Yeah.
yeah.
It's okay.
I was hoping he would just walk past me.
Yeah. Okay, mostly your attention is gonna be either on Bastion or Zenyatta or Rissa, I think.
I'm just not sure what the Bastion is going every time.
Yeah, well, it's just once you notice they being active, yeah, like that, yeah, the turret mode, the cooldown is active, then we start doing something. Yeah. Notice that Bastion? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Once they're not critical, you can start supporting something else like that Torp. Or, yeah. So it depends. Depends on who's doing more pressure. Yeah, this Bastion is a good target there. That's fine. You did force out a lot of resources there, so it's a good trade.
That was
Pretty
that
brave,
was a,
pretty brave, Rez.
yeah. I need to stop inting those.
It's kind of, as long as you know there's something what can burst you quick, I don't think you have to go. If it's just near you or in line of sight, you can just try to do something else.
It looked like the Reinhardt is moving forward, like,
I understand.
but he
Yeah.
turned around, so I thought I can be sneaky. Hello, Bastion. Yeah.
You guys can reset, take another fight.
Oh, she's fucking dead.
Think what you can do with your ultimate to initiate the fight later as well.
Bastion?
It seems like he's getting disconnected. It's just so so unfortunate in here.
I think okay. I feel like this is the effect of showing a game, but my games are not usually like this.
Yeah, I understand.
I feel like everybody's completely scattered.
Okay, at this point, I'm thinking once the fight breaks in, just try
It's
to
ult
find a
right
way
away,
to yeah, try to initiate. See all those guys that Torb and Orisa, try to get to them so you position between. Okay, well at least get to Orisa, closer to her. Mm-hmm. Okay, you guys sort of stabilized it seems. Now you can try to push up. Try to.
Oh, yeah, we don't have the point.
Yeah, you can't do much about that guy. It's okay. You always position between active angles, and those are going in. Can res, yeah. Okay.
Oh.
You have at least 2 more fights. Maybe you get a ranking stack in your game. I'm not sure because sometimes those people they just stand still. I'm not sure what's going on, but it's just
Yeah. I'm a little bit confused about what's going on here. Just walk in there.
pay attention. Risk is good. Between active, yeah, exactly. Staying near Zenyatta makes sense there. Yeah, really a weird game to be honest, but you know, the points. Well, what is still important? I think when you keep an eye on those active abilities, yeah, when somebody is using it's either the Bastion Steward mode or you notice like Tor B. I think that is good enough. Let me see it. Do we have enough time to do another game? It's just I have another session later. We have how many? Have 12 minutes left. I'm thinking maybe let's go over one of your games, other games, rather. Yeah, and then we
Yeah,
can.
that works.
Yeah, I think it's what do we think it's better. Just gonna screen share. Yeah, I don't think it's too worth to go over the game you had, but we can go over
Oh,
something like
there's more codes in our DMs. The Atlas Brune was close, I think.
yeah,
The second
the
code.
second one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, to just give you more examples on what we mentioned so far, yeah? Yeah, so to simplify, we got first of all attention on supporting towards anybody who's doing a lot of pressure. That's the first one. And second one is a lot of attention towards who is receiving pressure. And receiving pressure is all about your teammate being critical, I think. If they're being critical and taking damage, okay? Let's put it this way, because if you have a critical target and they're behind the wall, like right there, but you also have somebody in front and here, then your attention should go towards somebody in front. Okay? So it's just gonna be another point, which is important here. All right. So we start with a damage boost on the Junkrat, and then later attention is on the Lowry. So basically this. Yeah, this is what I mean. You now have to switch, yeah? So it might seem like this target is critical. Well, you started being critical, but then this echo's pressure is off, and maybe they have no HP, like 30% HP, okay? But nobody can do damage towards this target, okay? So who your attention should be on?
Oh, Junkrat.
Yeah, just go towards the Junkrat right away, yeah? So it's just, I think it really requires you to also look at where the enemy are, what are they doing with their pressure. Maybe if you know they just around the corner, then I think it makes more sense to put attention towards Alaria. Maybe just heal her up slightly, like to this HP. Yeah, this amount of HP is good enough, and then instantly switch. It's either Junkrat, maybe even Ryan actually, because the pressure can go
He's
through the shield.
swinging. Yeah.
Yeah, he's swinging. Yeah, exactly. And see, damage was in first. Yeah, damage was first, and then later you can start healing them up.
Come here and I will heal you. Heightening your capabilities.
Okay. So this makes sense. This here, they have pretty
Yeah,
good. Yeah.
she's just free firing on them. So
Yeah, pretty good line of sight, pretty good angle. The damage boost that, yeah, and then let's see how that goes. Okay, healing on Ryan. What's your thoughts? Should you do that? Should you heal him up, or should you
I mean,
still?
I did that because I thought the Reaper is gonna kill him if he walks up with the Reinhardt. Like,
Mm.
so
So
again, I think I'm healing too much, but I was just like trying to preemptively protect him.
yeah, so what are the triggers for you to start healing him up? To be exact, it seems like he's in a position to take damage, which makes sense. Yeah, you mentioned there's a Reaper, and also this angle, they're actively doing damage. However, this another
It would still be better on Junkrat, yeah.
mm, at the start maybe, but then if you look at the HP bar, yeah, I think it's just mainly starting healing them when something like Ryan at least, tanks in general, once they're about to lose the armor, I think this is good enough, to be honest. So it's just keep in mind that you don't have to hold your beam that much. It's just as soon as you know most of the armor is back, yeah, most of the HP is back, effective HP is back, then it's good enough. Yeah, it's kind of similar to what we mentioned about Delari. They've been critical, okay? They're not critical anymore. Maybe they healed like 50% already, and then you can start put your attention towards somebody else. You can keep an eye on those other guys. And damage boost first, of course. Yeah, so we're not just don't want to have everybody topped off necessarily. Okay. By the way, when your team pushes up like that, what do you think? Your position. Should you try to push for them in a way, or yeah?
I can be where Larry was at the end, I suppose.
Hmm. It's kind of going towards that corner here. I'm thinking maybe you can even try to lean towards this building here. Not too bad, because again, our point is being dynamic with position in a way so we support active angles. So I'm here, or maybe up on those stairs, and potentially I'm closer to the position to support this Ryan while supporting Larry and Junkrat. You definitely don't want to fly too far with your Ryan, yeah, but just have it in a position which maybe will get them healed. Like if I'm here, maybe I heal him and maybe he survives a little bit longer. Stuff like that. Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think it's mainly then. Okay. So I'm thinking might be good to summarize and then see if we got, yeah, if there are any questions as well. Yeah, the main point so far. What we got out of today with you?
Support active angles, a lot more damage beam, and don't heal too much.
Hmm. Okay, supporting active angles. What does it mean exactly? What is based on for us?
An angle that I can take that will help me with both my pushers and like give me an angle to go back.
That sure. That is your position. Yeah, making sure you position between angles. But how do you identify what is active angle exactly? Yeah, how do you understand that those guys are really active? Yeah, what kind of triggers you want to keep an eye?
Oh, they're either the ones who have good line of sight or pressure on the enemy or getting pressured.
Yeah. So I'm gonna write down one. It's about their position, mainly if you notice them being more in the front line. For you, typically, I definitely would start with just anybody who's in front line. You want to keep an eye on them more. Another, it's more difficult, but you still can do that. It's just have an exercise where you try to support off angles a little bit more. So, for instance, here, if I have everybody stacked, let's see. I think there was, yeah, just some seconds ago. Yeah, so for example here, most of your team is stuck in choke, okay? But if you support that surgeon, because they take in an off angle, they're away from your main core, they probably gonna do more pressure and receive pressure as well. So attention is gonna be on them. It's kind of similar to that example on Circuit Royale. Remember, your Widow took that side angle, they went to do more damage on off angle, and that's why was the part of the reason why they received a lot of pressure. That is what your attention should be on. Okay, so one, positional triggers. Another thing is the cooldowns. Okay, simply like let's do that. I'm thinking with cooldowns, let's try to maybe as exercise. Let's try to just track 2-3 cooldowns, like 1-2 at the start, and try to make sure you damage boost those consistently. So, for example, at the start of the game, maybe what you can have something like Junkrat's Mine, or maybe it's Ryan's Fire Strike, yeah, and then maybe you can also damage boost something like Surgeon's Rail, yeah. But you don't have to track everything at the start. Just make sure you're consistently comfortable with 1-2. Really, that's what I would do, to be honest. Track 1-2 cooldowns and be more consistent at damage boost. Okay. Yeah, I think sounds good, like exercise wise, and yeah, and another point, like I mentioned, your attention will be on anybody who is receiving a lot of pressure, but this is second priority. First priority is who is doing pressure first, and second, we go back to those guys who are critical and taking damage because they're not behind the cover. So
Gotcha.
not behind the cover. Like, how I would put it. Yeah, I think that's a good example. Yeah, remember, Ilari's here. Maybe just a more extreme example. Somebody's behind the wall, but they're critical. My attention should be not on them, but on anybody who is more active. Yeah, rather who is taking damage. You want to keep an eye on who's taking damage actually. Okay. Yeah, I think for the most part that's it. Do you have any questions maybe?
No, not for now. I think I just need to put it into practice and maybe like have another session later and see like if there's
Mhm.
any questions at later.
Yeah, sounds good with me. And I think for
Okay.
later, yeah, if you're gonna have any questions, what you can do is, well, first of all, you can message me on Discord. You can send me questions there, and you can even send me timestamps. If there's anything specific, what you're not sure about, maybe you don't know what the best position is, maybe you just want to understand what is better target to support in that case, you can just send me timestamp and question, and I'll answer whenever. Or you can take advantage of that Ask Me Anything channel in here on my Discord server as well. I can also I can also answer questions there. What else? Yeah, I think that's it. I'm gonna send you the summary really soon, and is everything's good? Oh, the recording. I think it should be on Twitch. Yeah, it will be recorded on Twitch, and most likely it will go to YouTube as well, the second YouTube channel. Okay?
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay. Then good luck in your games. I will see you later.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Okay, guys. So I have to stop the recording first of all